The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Hey, hello everybody, and good evening, and welcome to the show, Into the Night, with me, your host, Sean Kelly, Tuesday night edition. Hey, we have a heat wave here. Hello, Heidi. Hey, Kevin. Hello, Miss. Good to see you. Good day to you. I hope you're in the air condition down there in Australia, hon. I hope you are. Kurt, holy hell. Where you been, Batman? Good to see you. Man, it's been a while. So that's what you look like. As you can tell, I'm in a good mood tonight. Yes. Want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you two shows a week, Sunday and Tuesday night, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget, the Gateway Podcast with Miss C.L. Thomas is on right after mine, but unfortunately she's feeling under the weather, okay? And so she's not going to have her guest on. It's not going to be a live show. It's going to be a replay. But still, all her shows are great. You know what I mean? There's my girl, Cindy Mitch, who can't be on the show because where she lives, like out in the country and stuff like that. So Cindy's going to be a very big part of the chat tonight. But it just, we had a heat wave today. The last week, when I go to work early in the morning, okay, it's like -7 degrees, -5 degrees. When it came 3 degrees the other day, it was like a heat wave. But today was warm. But I don't even want to call it snow. It's ice now. It's ice because it's been so damn cold in Pittsburgh that everything is just freezing over. And it's still a little tricky trying to go to work, but you know what? Being from up north, dealing with the snow, the ice, the sleet, and the rain, we do know how to drive. Not too many people do, but a lot of us do. Austin, welcome, Austin. Good to see you. I feel bad for you, but I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that, buddy. than Mr. Arson. But so as you could tell, we had Punxsutawney Phil, that damn furry animal up in Punxsutawney. Now, the deal between Punxsutawney Phil, okay, is if he sees his shadow, then there's going to be another 6 weeks of winter. And guess what? The little bastard saw his shadow. So he got 6 more weeks of this crap. Yes. So to come up with tonight as a topic, I think it happened yesterday. I was thinking, well, what can I have? What can I have for a topic tonight? This was yesterday. I said, Sean, in the third person, I said, Sean, why, you just broadcasted over Facebook that you're going to start grilling the damn rodent up in Punxsutawney. We will, Show. We will. And Heidi will. Heidi's a good. Donna, good to see you. Welcome. So, yeah. Punxsutawney Phil saw his damn shadow, and now we have 6 more weeks of snow. But you know what? I guess we got to deal with it. And you know what? I mean, it's a fun time. Johnny, good to see you. It's a fun time. It's a day to go up and have fun and and meeting your friends and drinking beers, stuff like that. I'm waiting for this damn groundhog to come out at 8 o'clock. But you have fun. But recently I was watching some Pittsburgh TikTokers, especially news people. And they were saying that there are people out there that can't make Groundhog Day a fun festival type of day. Okay? So you're talking about science, a rodent talking about science. Hey, Marquetti, good to see you. And people are weird. You know what I mean? I've known about Phil for about 60 years, okay? And it's a lot of fun. It gives us, okay, Cindy says, on the bright side, he is only accurate 35 to 39% of the time. Now, everybody, Cindy Mitch is going to be part of the show, but she has to do it in chat. So, watch the chat. And when Cindy comes on, she's been there. So Cindy said on the bright side, he is only accurate 35 to 39% of the time. Well, is that a bright side? I don't think so. That damn bastard saw his shadow and all the hell. Now we got to go 6 more weeks of coldness, I don't think it's going to get cold until next Tuesday. And it's still going to be in the teens. It's going to be like single digits. But you know what? That's okay. You know what I mean? But I don't know. So I was thinking yesterday. Okay, so like I said, that bastard saw his shadow. Now 6 more weeks. And I got into thinking. And again, I said, Sean, is it possible that there are some type of high strangeness going up there in Punxsutawney? Kind of like telling that rodent, you got to see your shadow. You're going to see the shadow. So I said, what the hell? Why not? Why not do it? So, of course, I typed in my favorite AI on my phone, and I come up with, and I typed in high strangeness in Punxsutawney, PA. And when I was reading through it, Donna got 6 inches of snow today and still snowing. Oh boy, stay warm, Donna, stay warm. But I typed in high strangeness in Punxsutawney, PA. I'm like, cool. And guess what? But before I go on, so I said, I typed in the search and I said, where does Pennsylvania rank for cryptids, Bigfoot? And do you know that Pennsylvania, is ranked third out of all the states for cryptids and Bigfoot sightings? And you say to yourself, why? Because if you can go on YouTube, go to drones flying over Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a beautiful state. It really is beautiful. We have mountains and with so many trees on them. And it's like forest. We have like 3 or 4 national parks here in Pennsylvania. And of course, there's going to be a lot of Bigfoot sightings. There's going to be a lot of dogmen sightings and some other type of sightings that I'm going to get to in the second part of the show tonight, which I think is interesting. Because we know what Bigfoot's all about. We know what the dogman knows what's all about. I guarantee, Michelle, I guarantee it, and I saw one with my own eyes, thunderbirds. Okay, I saw one of them. They look like pterodactyls. And no, before y'all people who think I'm weird, they look like pterodactyls. And no, they're not the blue heron. And no, they are not turkey vultures. They're too big for turkey vultures, and they're too big for blue herons. But yeah, so Pennsylvania is ranked third. I kind of like it, But another interesting tidbit about Pennsylvania, especially the town that I live in, Pittsburgh. Do you know Pittsburgh is the biggest city in the Appalachian Mountains? Yes, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is the biggest city in the Appalachian Mountains. Mm-hmm. Cindy Mitch says 1886 was the first time he made the papers. Then the following year, people started joining in 1887 to see Phil. So Phil, started in 1886, and people started to follow in 1887. Now, you know for a fact that this Phil did not grow up back in 1886, 1887. God only knows how many furry bastards went through until today. You know what, Mish? How did Pittsburgh get its name? William Pitt. The dude's name was William Pitt. Look him up. And that's the only thing I can tell you right now. I don't know much history. I know that William Pitt founded Pittsburgh. Now, during the American Revolution War, when the English and the Native Americans were duking it out, where I am, it's called Point State Park down in Pittsburgh. And at the time it was called Fort Pitt. See, here in Pittsburgh, you got 3 rivers. Okay, you got the Ohio, which goes down to the Gulf of America. Then you got the Allegheny River, and then you got the Monongahela River. And so the Mon and the Allegheny flow down to the Ohio. And so Fort Pitt's right at the confluence right there. Okay. And God only knows what they saw back then. But yes, Pennsylvania is ranked third, and Pittsburgh's a spooky town. Don't get me wrong. Pittsburgh's a spooky town. So much big money we're here in Pittsburgh. You're looking at the Carnegies. Okay. Couple other names. Heinz. Everybody out there, who likes ketchup. Heinz ketchup was made here in Pittsburgh. Oh, thank you, Miss. So if you like Heinz ketchup, the original idea came here in Pittsburgh. That's where they started making it. So you had the Carnegies, you had the Fricks, you had the Mellons, all big money here in Pittsburgh. So that's a little history about it. Cindy Mitch says the inner circle of 15 members that looked after Phil said he is 140 years old as he has drank the leisure of immortals. Are you serious, Cindy? I'm going to put that up. I'm going to read that again. Okay. Cindy Mitch says, now everybody, Cindy's up around in that area, so she knows this stuff. The inner circle of 15 members that look after Phil said he is 140 years old, as he has drank the elixir of the mortals. God, I tell you what, that's cute. I like that one. So, okay. So I came up with the high strangeness in Punxsutawney, PA, because of Phil. Now, let me ask you all a question out there. Is it possible? Okay, if there could be some kind of paranormal activity that kind of makes Phil see a shadow? Do you think, well, Phil is waiting to come out of his burrow, whatever? Do you think like birds are going over and whispering, like if you see your shadow, you're not getting no, rodent women's? That's funny. Huh? And come to find out, Phil has an ex-wife down in Florida, and she says he lies all the time too. But do you think it's paranormal? Do you think it's possible that Phil, sees his reflection due to paranormal activity? Or do you think the people who take care of Phil kind of like, stack the cards? You know what I mean? I don't know. But high strangeness in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, refers to a mix of paranormal, cryptozoology, and bizarre phenomena, largely fueled by its reputation as a secluded rural town and its association with Groundhog Day. Now, Cindy, is it Is it a secluded rural town and associated with the groundhog? While famous for a largely whimsical Groundhog Day tradition at Gobbler's Knob. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Gobbler's Knob. The area is considered part of a broader Pennsylvania region with a high density of reported strange occurrences including cryptid sightings and supernatural events. Bart Sharp says you can move to Texas, winter is over, and people have a tendency to shoot groundhogs. In fact, I never see them. That's funny. Maybe we should bring some Texans up here. Cindy Mitch says it's very rural territory. What kind of what kind of activities do they do up in Punxsutawney? Do they have a Bigfoot convention? Do they have a cryptid convention up there, Cindy? Kurt says, I've always found it kind of suspicious ever since I could remember as a kid. They always made it seem like it was the same film, never a new one. That's true. But according to Cindy, he's 140 years old because he drinks from the elixir water. But the key elements of high strangeness in and around Punxsutawney. There's a lot of cryptid sightings. The region, particularly central and southern Pennsylvania, is associated with investigations into Dogman, Bigfoot, and other unclassified creatures. Cindy, what other kind of unclassified creatures do they have up in Punxsutawney? Cindy said, yes, we do have conventions. Bill Rigby, that's my boy. Yes, we do have conventions. Bill Rigby was here a few years ago. Bill's a good dude, man. He's a very dear friend of mine. He's really big into the Bigfoot investigations, and I might just get him on next month. So, supernatural investigations, documentaries like Areas of High Strangeness, Pennsylvania featured teams investigating bizarre and unnatural activity in the air. Okay, Cindy, you're up. What kind of bizarre and unnatural activity is in your area? If you can answer that, buddy. I'll try to slow down because, like I said, if you could have been on the show, instead of, typing it, I'm joking with you, I'm joshing you. And haunted locations. The area has been visited by paranormal investigators looking into reports of ghosts and other hauntings, such as in nearby old hospitals. All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. Can you give us at least a couple haunted places up there? Oh, Cindy typed Bigfoot and Predator and Ghosts, etc. Bill's friend has ghost-looking events. Oh, okay. So anywhere you go, and when the Pennsylvania ranked third in the country of Bigfoot sightings, God only knows what's up in there. And I wonder if Cindy ever hears strange noises at night. And the reason why I say that is because we're coming up on the break pretty soon here. And I want to talk about one cryptid up there that I want to get into a little bit. And I never really heard about it. I think I heard it in passing, but they're not the big cryptids, that people talk about. Now, the groundhog phenomenon, beyond the tourism, the intense annual focus on a groundhog's prophetic abilities has created a unique, surreal atmosphere. I can see that. So that goes hand in hand what I was thinking on Monday. Is it possible that there is some paranormal intervention into Phil seeing his shadow? Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. This is the 21st century. The majority of us know all about paranormal. We all know about spirits. We know how the universe can manipulate things. Do you think it's possible that something manipulated Phil to see his shadow? Think about it. Now, there's some regional content. The Central PA cryptids. Researchers have noted sightings of pale humanoids or crawlers and other creatures in Pennsylvania. Zombieland. The surrounding area is sometimes referred as Zombieland, and local folklore are associated with stories of strange creatures and strange events. And environmental oddities. Reports include accounts of twisted tree trunks, and we all know that was Bigfoot with the twisted tree trunks, and other unexplained natural occurrences. And I do believe, and I have no doubt in my mind, that Bigfoot does exist here in Pennsylvania. It really does. But we are getting close to the break. And what I want to talk about when we come back on the second is about the humanoids, the pale humanoids, or crawlers, they're called. And I got my AI set up for that too. So I think it's going to be interesting, the second part of the show. So everybody, go have a smoke, go to the bathroom, get something to drink, and I will definitely be back in a couple minutes. Okay, where are we at? We'll go here.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the second part of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I'm glad you made it home safe, Heidi. I'm glad you made it home. Now it's time to drink tons of coffee and stay up till the wee hours of the morning watching UPRN talk shows. Damn, I'm in a good mood tonight. I really am. It's been a while. you know. They say about February that February is the dull. Thank you, Heidi. Is like the month that's like really depressed because there's really no sunshine and there are always druid days and stuff like that. Um, but Kevin got something here. It is a dimensional, I guess, could exist anywhere wherever the energy takes it. I have seen them looped in Lake and Glencoe, up country in my parts, 20 minutes drive out of time growing up. Huh. Now, don't forget the Gateway podcast with my dear friend C.L. Thomas is on right after my show tonight. But tonight she is feeling under the weather. Okay, so she canceled her show for tonight, but she's going to have a rerun on. So even after mine, she'll go and check out her rerun. Show her some love, you know. I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. We were talking in the first part of the show about high strangeness in Punxsutawney, PA. Okay. And because of that damn rodent, that fuzzy little rodent, which I did break out the grill, everybody. Oh, better not have said that because PETA might be in the house. But it's just a joke. It's just a joke. I'm not going to fry up Phil. I'm not going to do it. Just want you people to know, I'm just covering my ass here. But we talk because of Punxsutawney Phil, who's the groundhog that predicts 6 more weeks or no more snow or winter, came out, saw his shadow, and now we got 6 weeks of it coming continuing. But you know what? Yes, Cindy, entertainment purposes only. But thank you for that. But we were talking about how Pittsburgh ranks in like third in the country with cryptids, Bigfoot, and all kinds of unusual things. Pennsylvania is huge, and it has a lot of woods. I think for all the hunters that are in Pennsylvania, I'm sure we can form our own army. No shit. Seriously, there's a lot of hunters. But so when I was reading through my AI stuff, I came across a new cryptid that I never heard of until tonight. Okay. Penn's Woods, yes, Joe. And hey, Joe, I'm going to have to favor ask you, like toward the end of the show, I'm going to pull an animal. Can you look it up for us and put it up in the chat before the show goes? That was really nice of you to do that last week. It was really cool. But they have a thing called what the hell? Humanoid creatures. Okay, kind of like rakes. Okay. Thank you, buddy. And I never really got into the rakes. Okay, but these are called crawlers. In the contents of the paranormal, cryptozoology, and high strangeness, crawlers refer into a class of generally pale, thin, and highly agile humanoid creatures, often sighted in forests, abandoned areas, or at night. They are considered a type of cryptid, sometimes confused with or related to the internet urban legend, the rake. Now, here's a breakdown what defines crawlers in this context, okay? The appearance, they are typically described as extremely thin, with pale white or grayish skin. They have long spindly limbs, with some reports noting claws and large eyes, often described as black, but sometimes red or white glowing. Locomotion. Their defining characteristic is crawling on all fours, often at incredible speeds. While they prefer to crawl, witnesses report they can stand on two legs and appear to be able to camouflage themselves in trees. Anybody here in the chat room, anybody there out there in the 160 different countries that, you know, watching the show tonight and watching all the great shows and all the great hosts on UPR and Talk Radio, um, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion? Do I believe that there are rakes? I guess. Like my son says, I was godfathered, grandfathered into it, into the metaphysical and the cryptids and Bigfoot. Okay. But what would you do if you saw something like that standing in front of you? A tall, skinny person with yellow eyes and scary as hell. What would you do? Now, I'm too fat, so I might as well sacrifice my body, my life for all the people who are running because I can't run. So I'll be the first one they get. That's the same way in the zombie apocalypse. I would, give my life for my friends. But yeah, it's kind of strange. But you look at it like, okay, so there are Bigfoot out there. There are dogmen. Why not these crawlers? But it sounds like that it's something out of a sci-fi movie, a sci-fi horror movie. You know what I mean? And if they do exist, Tim Vogel. Hey, Tim, question to ask you, my friend. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Down where you're at, or up where you're at. Okay, Tim. Have you ever heard of what I just call them? Crawlers? What the hell they call them? Kind of, they're tall, skinny, grayish looking things that go in the woods, that hide in the woods. If anybody would know, Tim would know if he ever saw one of them. They're the rakes, yeah, rakes. But they call them humanoids, pale white or grayish skin. Have you ever seen one up there, up north? You don't have to answer, but I'm glad that you popped in. So, yeah. I'm sure they're all over the eastern seaboard. Maybe over there. Oh, you haven't? Okay, thanks, buddy. But who knows? Maybe they exist. Maybe they don't. I guess it's all in the person's view, what the person thinks inside. How they feel. Their behavior. Eric's taken a few stories about them. Oh, really? Might have to get you guys on, along with Cindy Mitch. She has to come on. Buy a good phone. No, I'm joking with you. Find a computer, sit in the library, do something. I got to get you on for this, buddy. Their behavior, they are described as stealthy, intelligent, and potentially hyper-aggressive. Encounters are often characterized by feelings of extreme fear, or in some cases, the entity just watching from a distance. Mish says, I like what you had to say about that. Mish said maybe they exist in the mind of someone where we all dwell. It's true. Very, very true. And the sounds, while sometimes described as quiet, many accounts describe them as making loud, unsettling, shrieking noises. The origins, many believe that they are a form of unknown possibility, non-terrestrial or interdimensional humanoid entity. So, that's possible. They could be aliens. You know what I mean? It could be aliens. Because you got the talls, you got the giants, you got all kinds of different aliens. Maybe they are aliens here scoping us out, checking us out. And when I say that, I truly mean that with all my heart. It's not like I'm knocking them because of the tone of my voice. I'm just being straight out. Maybe they are ETs. Now, the internet lore, and whatever you read on the internet, you have to take with a grain of salt. Many researchers link them to the creepypasta phenomenon. That's weird. I've never heard of that. The creepypasta phenomenon, suggesting they are a fictional story that has gained traction as a modern shared urban legend. What are you questioning, Tim? Maybe they are the original human, and it's us who are the. It's possible, Mish. It's possible. We don't know. The Fresno. Okay, then you got the Fresno nightcrawler, a distinct, separate phenomenon. This refers to a creature described as a long-legged, white, stick-like entity, sometimes compared to walking pants, frequently sighted in California. So God only knows what's out there. But here's the big question. Here's the really, really big question about it all. Where do they come from? Where do Bigfoot come from? Where do dogmen come from? Where do these crawlers come from? Are they government made? Are they experiments that governments did? No, I'm not getting conspiracy here, but this is actual things that people think of. People think that, had to do something with the government. What's the name? The Mothman. I believe that was just. Heidi believes they are multidimensional. Okay, thank you, Heidi. So, oh God, Joe, God bless you, man. I love you to death, dude. I love you to death. I can't repeat that online. I'll get in trouble. In a broader metaphorical or tabletop gaming sense, a crawler can also represent a character who has become obsessed with a subterranean metaphysical dungeon environment. So that's what it is on the crawlers. And also the grubby man. But yes, Mish, there are two chats. Yes, I do believe they are, Mish. But you know what? Honestly, everybody, if it's government made, if they just came here or that they were interdimensional, whatever, okay, they exist. They exist. It's just that, from what I understand, like with the Bigfoot investigators and the dogman investigators, the cryptid investigators, if they want to be seen, they will be seen. If they don't want to be seen, then, then they don't. But more than likely, I would say 99.9%, okay, when you're not looking for it and you're just out there having fun in the woods, okay, then you might see one. Yeah, some people are on Facebook too. They got to get this thing right, so everybody can be in one chat for everybody. But you know what? That's it. In a nutshell, the creepy crawly, the tall white skin, I believe that are aliens now, the more I think about it. And then all the other cryptids that are out there. I just threw this up here because I wanted to talk about Punxsutawney. So maybe the question I asked was, do you think there was some type of supernatural phenomenon that kind of like told Phil, the groundhog, to see his shadow and go back into his burrow, you know. And it's possible it happened. Kevin says, depends where you find the show. I went through PPS and the show, for example, if you come in through live shows. Oh, okay. But I just lost my train of thought. But since we got Joe Fox in the house, I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And we are going to pull a card because we are getting close to the end of the show. And my friend Joe Fox said that he will, you know, when I pull the code card, that he'll put it up, the meaning. But you know what, everybody? Again, I'm going to start doing this at the end of my shows, okay? I'm going to pull one animal card that will take you for the week. I do believe Sunday was a Jaguar. Okay, we'll see what this one brings. Okay. So as I'm shuffling, as you can see here, right? Okay, and then I'm going to cut them. All right, now the card I'm going to put. Oh. Can anybody guess the card? Can anybody guess the card that's in my hand right now before I show it? Take a gander. I'm glad you do, Kevin. Can anybody guess what card I just pulled? No, not a horse, not a panther. I'll give 2 more shots. No goose. Damn near not. No bird. Okay. Joe Fox, you ready, buddy? You ready, buddy? Okay. The rabbit. The rabbit. The rabbit. The rabbit. Who overpopulates. And just for shits and giggles, I'm going to read what the rabbit stands for in this medicine. What in the medicine cards, what it says about the rabbit here. Let me get to it. Okay. All right, we'll see what the rabbit has to say. All right, okay. Okay, Joe got it up. The rabbit is a spiritual animal. Thank you, Joe. The rabbit is a spiritual animal symbolizing fertility, abundance, and personal transformation. It encourages quick thinking, adaptability, and awareness of one's surroundings, often serving as a guide to navigate through challenges and embrace new opportunities. I like this one, Joe. And I like the way that the rabbit, came up. I'll read it again real quick. So everybody, just write the rabbit down, and then when you have your own time, look up your meaning about the rabbit or whatever meaning comes to you, and see how it fits in your everyday life. So check this out. So you had the jaguar on Sunday, and you have the rabbit, and I can guarantee it for some strange reason. Okay, no strange reason, some spiritual reason that these 2 cards were meant for people out there. Now, don't get discouraged if you think that these cards weren't meant for you. Okay, just keep coming back, watching the shows, and then we'll pull some more cards. Hop on that, miss. God bless you. I love my girlfriend, Mish. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, into the night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. Remember, I am on Sundays and Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay. And Hopefully it gets a little bit warmer this week, but I'm not counting I'm not counting my blessings on that one. And don't forget that damn furry rodent up there in Punxsutawney, PA. Predicted 6 more weeks of winter. So we'll see how he feels when, well, he'll be hibernating, so he won't come out. But children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents, if you have no children, find someone, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. Don't forget, C.L. Thomas's podcast tonight. She's under the weather, so she'll have a rerun, being played. So go over and give her some love. And CL, if you're hearing this, I hope you're feeling better. Sending positive healing energies to you. And have some chicken noodle soup and go to bed and sleep is what you need to do. But on that note, everybody, have a good night. Have a beautiful week. And we shall see you next Sunday. Good night.